Everybody, welcome to week 3 of Engage to Elevate. Can you guys believe it's already week 3? We are so excited. Well, today you guys are watching this on a YouTube premiere, which is super fancy. I gotta love technology. I'm looking at my calendar because I always do. It is February 16th. February 16th. We're so excited that you guys are on because actually at this point, I am flying home from Miami, Florida. So while you're watching this, I am on a flight after the cruise that a lot of our national area has earned. And that's why you're watching this on a YouTube premiere instead of sometimes through Zoom or, watching it live. And so my friends, Jenny Simmonsma and Trisha Bless agreed to record this live so that we can have this technology go out because not only are we doing it, but, Kim Ferguson Peterson is on the cruise as well or coming home from the cruise. And so we needed her to be able to put everything out the way it was supposed to be because we literally do not know how we would do our lives without Kim. Okay, it would not be this well, that is for sure. Nor this fancy. We would not be fancy without Kim. And so I want to say congratulations to everybody who has sent in their consistency. You have turned in your numbers now 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. And so this is the prize that you are on target for. The beautiful Kendra Scott inspired lips. Look at that. It's like perfect for February. We are so excited for that. So go ahead and type in the chat because we are live chatting here. If you have earned that, you are on target for that consistency prize. We want to be celebrating each other. Directors, especially, give all the consultants some love in the chat. Now, we had a challenge for the number 1 in consultants, the number 1 in red jackets, and the number 1 in sales directors that they earned a fabulous prize from this week. So Kim, can we see the fabulous prize? Now, those are not Kendra Scott inspired. Those are real Kendra Scott. Okay, get excited because 3 of you have earned real Kendra Scott earrings. Now, I don't know who you are yet. I don't know who you are because we're recording this early. And so early this week, the week of the 16th, when I am back from Miami, we are going to be going live and showing the top 10 because you got on the board. As one of our consultants were talking about, she wants to get on the board. We're going to celebrate everyone who got on the board and our top 3, 1 from each of the categories, get the Kendra Scott earrings. And then we're also going to hear from our queens sometime live this week. So pay attention. Get excited. And so now we are going to go into week 3 of Engage to Elevate. Yeah, we're going to show you the prizes for this week at the end. Don't worry, we're going to show them to you. But we are on page 33 of your handy dandy book, okay? And it is week 3. The fortune is in the follow-up. And I am, oh my goodness, I am joined by top directors from across the country. I am joined by Jenny Simmonsma. Jenny, you know what I did not do before we got on here?
What?
I'm going to ask you some questions here, Jenny.
Hey.
So, Jenny, can you tell me, this is off the cuff. We're doing this off the cuff. Jenny, do you know how many cars you've earned in your Mary Kay career? And so, Trisha, be thinking about this because I'm coming to you with these questions. How many cars have you earned in your Mary Kay career, Jenny?
Let's see, 12 and 11 of them pink Cadillacs.
11 of them pink Cadillacs. What year did you join Mary Kay and start your business?
Let's see, 2021.
Oh,
No, 2001.
2001. I'm like, sister, no, you have not been in Mary Kay for 5 years. You've been in Mary Kay for 25 years.
Yes.
What did you do prior to becoming a Mary Kay consultant?
Excuse me. I was a marketing director for a real estate company, and I actually taught some marketing classes on the side at a local college.
Wow, that's amazing. And you started this business before you had kids.
Yes. Yes.
Were you recently married?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so busy woman. And you've told me one time that you built your business while flying across the country for your other job.
Yes, I would go to work on Mondays, fly out of Hobby Airport on Southwest, somewhere out east, and I was recruited on an airplane. And so my first 8 DIQ team for our DIQties on, my first 8 team members were on airplanes. So it was so much fun. So I was able to build a business immediately all over the country.
All over the country immediately while working a very high level job, traveling all over the place, and not yet having children. So, Jenny, I find people so intriguing, you guys. So Jenny, what I see bees on your jacket. Can you tell everybody what those represent?
The Mary Kay bumblebee is prestigious. It's a symbol of success that Mary Kay Ash started, and it has to do with adding 24 qualified personal team members in one year, one 12-month calendar year. And so I've had three times I've done the National Queen's Court of Sales, and it's been so much fun.
So is those are for sharing, right? The bumblebees
Y-
are for sharing.
Yes,
So
yes,
three times the court of sharing. And have you done the court of sales too?
yes, yes. I've done the Court of Sales 9 times.
9 times court of sales. So 9 times court of sales achiever, 3 times um court of sharing achiever. And how many unit clubs have you achieved where your unit has sold over?
Well,
Look at the bar pins. Look at
I
the bar pins. Just lean in and show us those bar pins. Okay.
I don't
Mhm.
really know, but we've done 9 top director trips, so I'm not sure.
9 top director trips across the world, across the world. What was the highest unit club that you've been in?
650,000.
650,000 retail in 1 year. And what are those other bar pins? What did they say on them?
They are, let's see, 500,000 and 400,000 and 350,000.
Look at that, you guys. 300,000, 350,000, 400,000, 500,000, and 650,000 9 times. 9 times. Can you guys just, isn't this exciting, you guys, to hear who these women are? Like, they're going to be so normal and fabulous. And then there's one other pin that Jenny is wearing, and that is a gold pin. And that is our Mary Kay Miss Go Give pin. And so, Jenny, what year were you elected? Were you voted Miss Go Give by your peers?
2010.
2010 in the Diamond Seminar?
Yes, yes,
Ah, look at
yes.
that, you guys. So
It was the year we went to Greece on the top
Jenny,
director trip.
wow.
My
Jenny
favorite.
Simmonsma has earned the use of 12 career cars with Mary Kay, 11 of them being the pink Cadillac. She has earned 3 diamond bumblebees in the National Court of Sharing. She has earned nine diamond rings in the Court of Sales. And her unit has been in multiple unit clubs over the years. The top in the 650,000, earning her and her husband Doug 9 trips across the world. Wow. Would you please welcome with me, also voted by her peers, the most prestigious award in all of Mary Kay, Miss Top Sales Director Jenny Simmonsma.
Oh my gosh, Heidi, you just know how to make a girl feel so special. My
Well, I know, and
goodness.
we have another special friend on here, and
Thank
I love
you.
this because she has a lot of the same accolades, which is super fun. Trisha Bless, how many cars have you earned in your Mary Kay career?
9.
Shut up, you guys. You've been driving free for a lot of years. The use of 9 free cars in Mary Kay. And what did you do before you joined Mary Kay, Trisha?
I was a policy and procedure analyst and supervisor for the state of Wisconsin.
Wow. So both of you
Very boring.
high power corporate jobs. Now you
Boring.
were married, but you both were married. But how old were your girls when you started your Mary Kay business?
I had middle schoolers. They were
Wow.
just getting into everything.
So you guys both worked these business, earned the use of cars, and became sales directors while working full-time corporate positions. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Girls, are you listening to this? Are you hearing about these kind of women who are powerful in Mary Kay? They were powerful before they came into Mary Kay. I also see bees on your jacket, Trisha Bless. How many times have you earned the National Court of Sharing?
4.
Four. 4 times the National Court of Sharing. And you also sell this product. How many times have you been in the National Court of Sales?
6.
6 times National Court of Sales. Holy cow. And how many times has your unit achieved a unit club selling over $300,000?
We've done the 300,000 circle.
1 time in the $300,000 circle of achievement. And you guys, you see the golden heart on her lapel as well. She was also named a Miss Go Give for the Diamond Seminar. And what year was that, Trisha?
It was August of 2021.
Wow. So the year that Jenny thought that she started Mary Kay, but she really didn't. That was the year that you were nominated as a Miss Go Give. So Trisha Bless
Yeah.
has earned the use of 9 free career cards with Mary Kay while starting her job. She earned 2 of those as a consultant. She earned 2 career cards as a consultant while working a full-time job, raising 2 middle school children, and loving her Mary Kay. She has been 4 times in the National Court of Sharing. She has been 6 times in the National Court of Sales. She has done triple star 1 time and double star 4 times. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Her unit has achieved the $300,000 unit club and are going to do that and beyond this year while they earn their 10th car being the prestigious pink Cadillac. And she was also named the monthly Miss Go Give for the Diamond Seminar in August of 2021. Would you please welcome our friend all the way from Florida. Don't tell me, Daytona. Hello, Daytona Beach, Florida. Trisha Blast. Woohoo! So that was important, you guys. We needed you to know who you are hearing from this evening. All right. So I know I take like 5 minutes of their time doing their accolades, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. So we are going to move in to our training. You all know what AHA means by this time. You know what BFO means. You know all these W's at the bottom. So let's jump in to page 36. Jenny, you're starting us off, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, here we go.
Well, I was stuck, Miss Bless, when you said that you were raising middle schoolers. Bless your heart, my girlfriend. My goodness. Okay, beyond that. All right, so I love the topic. I love this week's topic. It is all about the power of words. And I'm
Yes.
going to talk to you a little bit about words that can attract and words that can turn people away. And there is such a big difference. You know, people will hear me say this line, and I've said it for years. People respond to authentic hearts, not polished pitches.
Not only do you say it, it's written in our book. So
It
thank
is
you very much
written.
for putting it in there.
And I come from a marketing background. I come from a sales. I was surrounded by that world, and I know you have too. You have seen, you have heard those polished pitches.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the authentic heart and the truth that we get to share, it's that attraction that we have. And that's what Mary Kay is really all about. It's not just a one-time sale. This is a long-term relationship that we
Yeah.
build with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where authentic hearts really come to play. And so you do have permission. I'm going to give you permission right now to drop any word, any verbiage that sounds salesy. You're not a sales consultant. You are helping someone to to solve an issue. You're helping someone. The goal is not to impress with big words. And
Mm.
sometimes the ingredients that we get to throw around in what we share.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to talk about some powerful words that are going to help you connect and just really stay connected. Because I look back at my customers in the last 25 years, and I have the same customers. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I've added more, but I have the same customers since the very beginning of my business. 25 years ago,
Yeah.
they're still with me.
Yeah.
And I want that for everyone. And I love that. That's just part of Mary Kay.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong business.
That was one of my biggest fears, Jenny, was that I didn't want to be salesy. I
Yes.
didn't want to turn people off. I didn't want to be pushy. And so I thank you so much for saying we can drop any words that make us feel icky, maybe even too. If you don't like it, if you don't feel good about it, you guys, you don't have to say those words. Be authentic. I love that. Respond to authentic hearts, not polished pitches. All right, good. So you have some great words on this piece of paper. The 4 most powerful natural words. I would love to hear. Tell us about that.
Well, I think too, often we like the word, and you've heard it too, and polished pitches. You hear the I.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we're going to not talk about because the most important part of making a connection, natural connection, helps us focus on her are
Mm.
those 4 words. You, because, feel, and what. And so we're going to talk a little bit about really some ideas that really will help you design some questions to make that connection using these words.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And really natural selling, it reflects, you're going to reflect what they say too. And so we're going to start with you. The main question that we often ask, and we should ask questions, is how does your skin feel? And if you look at the bottom of the page, there's just 4 quick little examples that are there. But making sure that we use verbiage that
Mm-hmm.
just don't develop a no or a yes,
Mm-hmm.
but that
Right.
open-ended question that develop a conversation because, right, we are here to help. We are here to help. And
Mm-hmm.
and people need to be able to see, oh, okay, I see that she is helping me with my skin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one, that's you is a big one.
Yep.
How does your skin feel? Simple. I say that all the time.
Right.
The next one is because, and being able to use because, saying the words, I love this because it's simple. I'm going to add a little side note here because um, if you're not, when we go through this little program this evening, um, I'm also thinking ahead of the possibility of objections that I'm going to get. So I'm kind of solving some objections before I get them. And if you heard me say the line, I love this because it's simple,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of solving an issue right there before it's even come about.
Yeah.
Of course, going back to you, how does your skin feel? I'm
Uh-huh.
solving an issue before it comes out. I'm going to help her, find the right products. The next question or the next word is feel. Gosh, I know how you feel. Years ago when I was brand new, one of the things that I learned was the feel, felt, found words. And that just makes someone feel connected. It's kind of got that warm, fuzzy, because you do hear people say, she doesn't know how I feel. She doesn't know that my stress
Mm-hmm.
level is so flippin' high with my job, my kids,
Mm-hmm.
my finance, all that stuff, that it's creating havoc on my skin.
Mm.
And so that might not be your scenario,
Mm-hmm.
but there's scenarios that you're going to run into that feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Well,
they
and
don't realize you're the
even
expert.
too, Jenny,
Yeah,
with that, okay, because I've learned the same thing. And what if it's okay, I would love to share.
sure.
Sometimes, like when you're going through a situation right now, and Trisha, you both are going through situations where your husbands need care. You guys get to be their caretakers, right? In addition to their loving spouses. I don't understand how that feels, right? And so, I mean, if I would say to you, oh, I know how that feels. That would be fakey to you, right? And so I
Exactly.
think we got to be very careful. Like, so
Yeah.
I would say to you, Jenny, and to you, Trisha, guys, I actually have no idea how you're feeling right now. I can imagine, but I can't, I don't know how you're feeling. Well, this is what I did, Jenny. I don't know how you're feeling, but Trisha has felt that. I think Trisha has felt that way because she is also a caregiver for her husband. So could I connect you guys like that? So
Mhm.
maybe if we don't know how somebody's feeling, because maybe we do, right? So Jenny, if someone's like, I am so stressed, you're like, girl, you know what? I hear you. And I have felt a similar way. I have felt a similar way. Maybe we're not feeling the exact same thing, but I have felt a similar way when I was traveling all over the country and I was so stressed out and it wreaked havoc on my skin. And what I found is, feel, felt, found. What I found is when I took some time to take care of my skin, and like just gave myself 10 minutes at night, it was actually so much better. I was actually so much less stressed and my skin felt better. I don't know. So what I'm saying, you guys, is if you can't relate,
Mhm.
think about someone who can.
Yes.
And maybe that will help us. And that's why we're on these Engage to Elevate, right? Because our stories, my story is not your story, it's not Trisha's story, but I can use your stories to help relate to other people who might have similar stories to you. But you're right. I hear you when you say, "How are you feeling? Tell me about that." We're actually hearing a person, right?
Mhm. And of course, and that is going back, you're exactly right. Not everybody is going to be in the same situation.
Yeah.
But just exactly what you said, Heidi, when you said that you make that connection. It's not always a firsthand connection,
Yes.
but for you to be able to say, "Hey, you need to get together with Trisha. You guys
Mm-hmm.
are kind of speaking the same language, going through the same things." And I love that that's what we get to do in Mary Kay A. But it also is that authentic heart,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that we love to connect people. We want them to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to do that with the avenue of skincare,
Yes.
products, and people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's awesome. But quite often, you might even say the words, "How does your skin feel?" Like
Mm-hmm.
all four of these words
Mm-hmm.
meld together
Together.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And how does your skin feel? How do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
And the word because, because it's simple and
Mm.
people are looking for simple.
So that word because it explains why, right?
Yes.
I'm not, woohoo, I love this product. Woohoo. That that is kind of weird sometimes, right? So because it gives the reason behind it. And I
Mhm,
think that goes back to your authentic hearts. And you've said the word over and over again, Jenny, connection.
mhm.
Connection. These words are building connection with people. And that's what this business is all about, whether it's done virtually or in person, because I know you guys work your businesses both ways. How can you create connection?
So true. So
Yeah.
true. And of course, the last word that we hear all the time is what.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we can ask this question. What questions can I answer for you? What do you like most so far? And I always ask that, even when I'm selling a product or I'm at a skincare party. What do you like most so far? And I
Yeah.
often ask that repeatedly
In the middle,
over and
not just at
over
the end. You're asking
and
that in,
over again. How does
yeah.
that feel? What do you like most so far? And then if you're thinking about using your business and of course growing a team, it's also a fantastic question when you say something like, "What if
What if?
you're thinking about Mary Kay for yourself? I could teach you. What if
Mm-hmm.
I could teach you
Mm.
all the ways that a Mary Kay business could fit into your busy life? What if?" And it gets people really thinking
Yeah.
and and connecting.
Yeah. I love that. When you were asking these questions, the phrase that came to my head was be genuinely curious.
Oh, yes.
So
Mhm,
again, it's not just, you're not just asking the question, ask the question, you really want the answer,
mhm.
right? What are you loving about our appointment so far? How is your skin feeling, right? What if I could teach you? Like you're not just putting those words out there, like you really want, you're genuinely curious. And I think, Jenny and Trisha, if we can take on the attitude of being genuinely curious, we won't be as offended.
Ooh,
When
yes.
we really are curious, we're not like, no, I just want you to tell me this answer. When we're
Mhm,
genuinely curious, we're going to be less offended by things that maybe we don't understand, or maybe not, that's not the answer we're looking for. So we're opening it up. We're being genuinely curious to find out what they truly are feeling and thinking.
mhm.
I love
And
this.
me too. And I think that also goes right along with, one of the things that has been my personal forte and success in my business is doing test trials or sip and see, or I truly want to get your opinion, especially with new
Yes.
products that
Yeah,
launch, and say, "I really would love to get your feedback and your opinion. I value it.
I
Could we
value it.
meet for coffee? Could we meet
Yeah.
for a cup of, a cup of tea. I can't wait to hear what you think. I
Yeah.
think that goes right along with the curiosity.
Right, valuing their thoughts about it. And
Yeah.
right, I mean, that new product just came out yesterday, right? On the 15th for everybody. So what an opportunity to ask great questions, to find out what people are thinking and to get we value their feedback about that. I love it.
Mhm. I agree. I totally agree. Well, we're going to move on to asking the art of conversation, how to answer with heart. And that's the next page because I think there's so much power. There's so much power in overcoming objections and just really darn right knowing what to say when somebody comes with you with just a question. It's not necessarily an objection, right? Just
Right.
think of it as a question.
I love that.
And I want to tell you that when I first started my Mary Kay business, I was traveling with my corporate job constantly.
Yeah.
And I would, this is going to make me seem so old, but we used to get tapes. And it was audio recorded tapes of all tons of training. It was awesome. And I remember being brand new, getting a tape on overcoming objections.
Hmm.
And the top sales director on that tape was from the Deep South, and she had the southernmost accent. And I'm originally from South Dakota. And so
South
I
Dakota.
can remember listening to that over and over and over. I think my tape like fell apart. And when it came to my very first opportunity to do oh, okay, there we go. My very first opportunity to actually uh, talk to somebody with this overcoming objection,
Yeah.
I had that same Southern drawl
That's
accent. It
hilarious.
was because I had listened to it so many times. And I thought,
That's so
what
funny.
did I just say? What in
I
the world
love
did I
it
just
so
say?
much. That's so great.
So that was absolutely hilarious. So we're going to talk a little bit about overcoming objections and this page. Excuse me, I'm overcoming a cold, but this page is seriously awesome. And oh, sorry about that. And I love that one of the challenges that I have for you is to um, make an audio recording of this and or actually put them on some flashcards so that you can review them constantly, reviewing them constantly. And so I love that. It's the art of conversation, how to answer with heart. And I'll tell you, one of the questions that goes right along with a you because feel and what, they're all do, but I just circled, I'm too shy. And you'll see, you're not alone. Many consultants start shy. Um, but the follow-up is, I, you feel more confident. Even outside of Mary Kay, would that be a win? It's amazing how many people come to me that say, I'm just so shy. But
Yeah.
it's not just Mary Kay shy, it's
Yeah.
that they have a longing for friendships outside of the pink bubble. And
Yeah.
I love that that's what we get to help. Um, I think that's awesome.
These are great. These are
Yes.
so great. I actually love your thought process of yes, to make flashcards because we're writing them, but I think it's brilliant to record ourselves. Like,
Yes.
guys, you can take your phone and record yourself so that you can be listening to this over and over again and it's going to come out of your mouth. But you won't have a Southern accent unless you already have a Southern accent. Okay? But
Hang
it will
on, I've
be
got it.
you actually saying the words. I think that is brilliant. Brilliant. I love
Yes.
these are great. These are so wonderful because they're asking questions, they're
Yes.
listening, you're connecting with people. It's beautiful. I love how your thing up there, curiosity. I didn't even read that. It says
Yes.
curiosity beats convincing every
Mhm.
time. Gentle, curious, and pressure free. This is beautiful. These are some of the best things
Yeah.
I've seen. Thank you.
And you can cut these apart, stick them on your own index cards. Make it simple, but that is part of your that's part of your voucher for this week. You get points. But I
Yes.
wanted to make it silly simple.
Oh my goodness.
Or
Thank you. This is brilliant. Thank you. But
yes.
here's the key, you guys. See, you're going to have all of the tools. This is a great tool. Mary Kay said, we have given you all the tools, but a tool without using it is useless. So you heard Jenny, she listened to that tape over and over again. That tape was a tool, but Jenny listened to it, she learned it, and then she used it. So I'm going to tell you, this is an amazing tool. Consultants and sales directors, let's use the tools and make it work for our businesses and to help change lives. Love this. Anything else on this page, Jenny?
No, because it is so self-explanatory, and you
I love
know
it.
that you're going to be reviewing this and using this for your points. But I
Okay.
did ask Trisha to be to do some role playing with me.
I love this. Role playing. All right, let's go.
Yes, so some role playing, because the next page talks about inviting someone to try Mary Kay and another set of overcoming objections. And when I put this together, these are all the ones that I get, like the most important overcoming objections that I've gotten over the years. And
Okay.
so I'm not going to read through them all, but what I am going to do is ask Trisha to role play with me. And so one of the questions that we often get is the words, I tried Mary Kay before and it broke my face out. And so, Trisha, so if I were to invite you, so I'm going to invite you to be a hostess, or actually just be one of my skincare trial customers, because we're launching a new product. What do you think? I'd love to have you try out some new Mary Kay products. So when would be a good time for you?
Well, well, thanks for thinking of me, but the last time I tried Mary Kay, it broke my face out really bad.
Oh no, gosh, thank you for sharing that with me. You know, skin changes over time and everyone's skin is different. I'll tell you, when I turned 50, I don't know, all heck broke loose. I'm just gonna say, but anyway, beyond
Right?
that. So my skin has changed over time, seriously. You know, we could simply focus on a gentle option and maybe just do maybe a small patch, maybe on the back of your hand, maybe just even on your neck. I guess, what do you think?
I guess I could be okay with my hand because I really would like to figure out how to fix my face.
Mhm. And then maybe we could even talk about what was going on in your life at the time, age, products, you know, what was happening at the time you had tried the product. And, you know, Mary Kay has changed over time. And my goodness, do we have some amazing new products for all skin types?
Yeah, you can tell me about them. That'd be okay. We'll see. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. You know, I think we can always overcome objections that way. Okay, another one that we often get, Trish and I often get is um, on the second page is, you know, I don't know anyone to invite. I don't
Yeah.
know anyone to invite. So, Trisha, what would you say to that? I don't know anyone to invite.
Oh, girl, I totally get it. It seems like everyone's busy, but here's what I know. There's like your besties that you always want to hang out, who always want to hang out with. Who's somebody in your life that you just like spending time with,
I like that.
Ooh, I love that. I
you know?
love
Or who else do you know that's super into makeup? Like she's always wanting to drag you to Ulta, try the newest stuff.
Yes.
Mm,
You know,
okay.
help her think of who it might be that she could ask.
Oh, I
Help
love
her
that.
think. I love that. Asking her those questions to see
Yes.
and to hear her. I heard you hear her. You're like, yeah, I get it, girl. All my friends are super busy too. So that's feel, felt, found without having to say feel, felt, found. Like,
Yes.
I get it. Yes, people are super busy, blah, blah, blah.
And
What's
Mhm.
she didn't say everybody's busy, but I know that's what she was going to say next. I mean, that's just, I don't know who to invite. Everybody's so busy. That was just kind of an unwritten sentence. So I'm like, I'll just put it out there.
Yeah, Just acknowledge it and go, yeah. But I loved how you said, who's the one person you enjoy spending time with, right? You guys,
Yeah.
one matters. And sometimes when you help her think of one, and then sometimes she thinks of that one, and then maybe she'll think of one more. Who knows? But a double facial is always more fun, and it gets you in front of more faces than just simply one person anyway.
That is so
Another
good.
line that I've used, or another way I've said that, is whose opinion do you really value?
Ooh,
That way it's somebody who's unbiased and not me.
Mhm. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Yep, that is a great one too.
love this, you guys. Thank you so much
Yes.
for these tools.
Mhm.
And that we're not alone. I think sometimes there's new consultants on here, right? You guys, if you're a new consultant, put yourself in the chat that you might be thinking, I'm the only one, or maybe you haven't even heard these objections because you haven't asked anybody because you're scared. Okay. And you guys, one time, Jenny, I don't know if it was on the same tape because I think I listened to a tape out of objections. He started up by saying, I eat objections for breakfast. I eat objections for breakfast. You guys, it's a mindset, right? It's like, okay, there are going to be objections, you guys, and not being so scared of it, but just saying, that's okay. I'm going to be genuinely curious. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not just going to stop. I'm going to ask questions. And maybe she'll book and maybe she won't. But at
Mhm.
least I'm going to get better at asking questions no matter what, right?
I
Okay,
love it.
this is awesome. Good.
I
Anything
love it.
else?
That is it. I mean, we've got some great overcoming objections that everybody can review and connect with. And I think the most important thing is to just always remember that people respond to authentic hearts,
Mhm.
not polished pitches.
I love that so much.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And at the bottom of page 39, another great thing that you guys put in there, stay genuine, be yourself, keep the conversation light. Your role is to invite, the decision is always theirs. I mean, this is beautiful. Just thank you so much for taking the time, you guys, to put those beautiful phrases in there. Okay, what's next? What's next? We've already gotten so many great meat, juicy stuff here.
We're actually going to flip over to page 42 next.
Mm.
Because now that Jenny taught us how to get the conversation started and get her booked and get our appointment and build that relationship while we're with her, I'm going to talk about how to keep the conversation going after we're not in an appointment setting anymore and what follow-up can look like and how we're going to continue to build those authentic relationships, still using the same kind of languaging like Jenny was talking about. So we're going to talk about 2 + 2 + 2, which is not new. If you're new to Mary Kay, you might be like, oh, what's that? But for most of us, if we've been around the block a little bit, this is not a new concept. We're just going to revisit it and remember how valuable it is.
Okay.
It's a system, just like lots of other things that are systems. It's a tool, like Heidi's been talking about, to follow up with people. And the twos stand for 2 days, like it says in our book, 2 weeks and 2 months. But the purpose behind doing this, you guys, is to continue to strengthen your relationship with that customer.
Mm.
That's what creates customer retention. Retention is relationship. It doesn't matter how amazing our products are if she doesn't trust you, if she doesn't know that she can rely on you, and if she doesn't know, she doesn't feel like you care about what she needs and what's most important to her. And it's so much easier to keep the customers you already have and then build on that rather than having to seek new ones all the time and feel like you're constantly starting over. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting. And
Yeah.
so by building those relationships through this simple tool, you can save yourself some of that grief. So 2 days, what are we calling her in 2 days for? You might be like, I just saw her. I'm not going to call her. I don't want to be pushy. How many people, when I said you're going to call her in 2 days, thought, I don't want to be pushy? Go ahead and if you feel like it, put that in the chat if that was you. Because the first time I heard this, I'm like, well, that's pushy. Why would I just saw her 2 days ago. No.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, you guys. It's a thank you call.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, Jenny. You were such a joy to be around at Sandy's house. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, cool. Okay, thanks. That might be the entire phone call, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally just a touch to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. You were awesome. Thanks so much. Okay. You're not trying to sell her anything. You're not even really talking about her purchase or her products too much other than to thank her. If she has any questions, of course you would respond. But your intent when you call her is just to say thanks and just to reconnect
I have a question
you to
for you
her.
on that. So I have found sometimes, Trisha, that when I follow up in 2 days, to thank her. Now, do you ask a question like I've asked? Tell me, sometimes they're not using the product yet. Like they take it home and
Right.
they haven't used it yet. Has this happened to you or is it just me?
If she said, I don't overtly ask her at 2 days. I really
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wait till 2 weeks for that. Sometimes, she had something she wanted to use up first or whatever. So 2 days, I'm not like super worried about it. I'm just reminding her she bought stuff from me at this point.
Okay. Okay. So really you're just getting that like I'm Trisha.
Mhm.
We met 2 days ago. I'm
I'm
here.
your beauty consultant. That's my
Okay.
name, Trisha. Don't forget me. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not saying
Okay.
it like that, but that's really
But
my
that's the
point.
intent. That's the intent. The
Yes.
customer service build the relationship like you're talking about. Okay.
Now, here's something that will sometimes happen that's really interesting. You call Jenny up and you thank her for being there, and she was such a joy to be around. And she says, "Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I was telling my friend at work about you. She wants to know if I can have a catalog. Can you get me a catalog?"
Ah,
That happens
okay.
all the time.
Okay.
Okay, but you guys, that's an opportunity. This 2 + 2 + 2 thing is all about opportunity. That's an opportunity to book her.
Mm.
Sure, Jenny, I could totally send you a catalog. But to be honest, your best bet would be to have a few friends over. You already got some people who are interested, and I would rather give you hostess credit for introducing me than just hand off a book. How would that be for you?
Bring her over. Just ask her, right? Just ask.
Right.
Invite.
And if
Mm-hmm.
she says no, that's fine. Then I could just drop off a catalog at her office. I'm always going to try to drop it at her office rather than mail it to her if I can, because I want those people to see me and connect to me. Right.
Right.
But you
Yes.
never know. Okay. So that's what 2 days is all about. It's simple, but it's important.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're the Mary Kay lady. You don't want to be just the Mary Kay lady. You want to be your name. You want to be Jenny, the
Mm.
person who was so sweet to call and say thank you to me.
Mm.
You
Because
don't want to
usually
just be the
somebody
Mary Kay
wants
person.
something, right? Usually somebody's calling because we know they're calling for a reason, right?
Mhm.
How often do we get a phone call where someone's simply saying thank you? Never. Like never. So that's a big deal to have that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I love it.
Mhm. My favorite call is the 2 week call for
Okay.
sure, because this is the one that's going to make or break customer retention. Hopefully she's using the product by now. It's
Mm.
your job to find out if she is or isn't.
Okay.
So you're going to have to ask some questions, you guys. If
Okay.
she hasn't started using it yet, she's not going to create a consistent habit of using it on her own at this point. She's
No.
not. And then she's not going to ever reorder it again. And then she's not going to be your customer. And then 2 years from now, someone will invite her to try Mary Kay and she'll go by somebody else.
Right.
So it's important, even though you're afraid she's going to say something negative, because you guys, that was me. When
Mm.
I learned this from my senior sales director, and I'm like, I gotta call her and ask her how she likes her stuff. She's gonna say bad things. What if she, what if she doesn't like it? What if she decides she doesn't, want to keep it? What if? You guys, if you're gonna make up a story, make up one where you like the ending to begin with. Okay,
Make up a
don't make
good
up
one.
a negative story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to call her, just like Jenny was talking about in the beginning. How's your skin feeling? What questions do you have about your products? What are you liking best about them so far?
So using the questions that we already talked about with the words you, how,
Hmm?
feel, what. Got it.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's too important to skip this. You really want to do that follow up to make sure she has started. It's just like you said, Heidi, to make sure she has started using the product,
Okay.
because this is a make or break point in that relationship. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a reorder if she never starts using it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, closing this 2 week conversation, there's a little bit of an art to it. And again, it's language, it's words like Jenny talked about. Jenny, I value you as a customer, and customer service is super important to me. Is it okay with you if I check in from time to time to see how things are going?
Mm.
I'm asking her permission for continued follow up.
Can you please, I know that I can't see the live chat right now, but I'm sure that people are saying, can you repeat that? So could you repeat that again?
Sure. Jenny, I value you as a customer, and customer service is so important to me. Would it be okay if I checked in with you from time to time to see how things are going? And I'll give you a little tip, you guys. If she says you don't have to do that, or I'll call you, nah, don't, I'll call you if I need something, consider that a time saver. Say, okay, great, thank her, and move on.
Would you still,
It
if
might-
she purchased something, would you still put her on your mailing list? If she said, don't contact me? I mean, verbal.
Right. I probably would send her a catalog or two because she was a new customer and maybe she just was having a crummy day the day that I happened to call her.
Yeah,
But this is not somebody that I'm going to spend a lot of energy on
I see.
at this
Okay.
point.
All right. Okay.
Yep. So don't be like super offended. It probably wasn't personal anyway, you guys. It probably wasn't anything you said in that conversation. She's, who knows? The dog just threw up in the living room. Her kid got detention at school. Who knows what happened? But it might have just been timing for her. So
Does that
don't
happen to
feel
you
it.
very often? Because that does not happen to me very often, Trisha.
It is very rare that someone says, no, don't call me. Very
Okay.
rare.
Okay. Because I'm just
Very
like,
rare.
I don't know if I've only had that happen like a handful of times in 28 years. So just
Exactly.
FYI,
It's
guys,
very rare.
usually they're like, yeah, that's fine. Because
Yeah, most people say exactly, oh, sure, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
okay. All right. So that's the
Great,
normal.
goodbye. So that
All
way
right.
you've laid the groundwork for more phone calls. And you
Mhm.
don't have to feel weird about calling her in the future because you already asked and she already gave you permission.
Okay.
That's the
Got
whole
it.
point of that.
Got it.
Okay, so 2 weeks. It's all about reinforcing that she's using the product and
Yeah.
setting the groundwork for future interaction with her. And just, listening to what's going on. Like Jenny was talking about. It's important that we listen to any cues that she might be throwing out there.
Okay.
All right. 2 months, which I'll give you a little wiggle room on this one. It might be 3 months because I tend to do it on my PCP schedule rather than 2 months
Okay.
and then quarterly as well, because that gets too confusing for me. I have to keep things super simple. And I still get nervous that I'm going to bug her if I call her too much. So I do it on my PCP schedule.
Okay.
That's
So when the
But the point
preferred,
of this,
when the
Go ahead.
lookbook comes out for new customer, for new consultant,
correct.
the lookbook
So when the
comes out.
catalog mails out.
And so that just mailed out. I mean, literally that just mailed out. So if you put anybody on your preferred customer, this would be a great time to do this phone call to them.
Correct.
Okay.
Because hopefully by now she's running low on something, or maybe she's ready to add something else to her routine. I just had a facial last week where she's starting with a couple of things and she has a list of things she wants to add in the future, but she wants to see how her skin does because it's been sensitive in the past. So that's how we decided to approach it. So I'm keeping track of all that in her profile in my customers so that when I call her for my quarterly check-in,
Yeah.
I'm talking about specifically those products that are on her list. Okay, the next thing we talked about that you wanted to add was barrier restore. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but that's the whole idea of this quarterly check-in.
Yeah.
Ask her how she's doing with the product. Ask her if she's ready to get a backup one so that when it runs out, she's not panicking. Ask her if she's ready to add something new. You talked about this. Have you seen any new concerns pop up in the mirror? That's a question I ask a lot. Have you seen any new concerns pop up in the mirror? Because sometimes she'll go, oh my gosh, now I have all these creases by my corners of my eyes, or there's this divot between my eyebrows, or whatever. And of course, we have a fix for that. So if we ask her the question, she brings it to conscious level, we can advise her on what might serve her.
Type that in the chat, guys. Have you seen any new concerns
Pop up in the mirror.
pop up in the mirror? Have you seen any concerns pop up in the mirror? Thank you for having that in the chat. Thank you. Awesome.
This is also a time to ask her for an appointment again if you haven't had one. Okay. If you haven't seen her, like she had a first appointment with you and then didn't book a follow-up. Jenny, I'm so glad that we connected today. I wanted to check in with you because I owe you another appointment and I don't want to short you on that. That's the approach I take. I owe you another appointment and I don't want to short you on that.
Love that. Thank
And
you
or
for
if
typing
it's
that into the chat, friends. Thank you for typing that in the chat. I owe you another appointment and I don't want to short you on that.
right. And like this time of year, I might say, and besides, we're getting into spring. We should do a spring checkup from the neck up anyway to make sure your face is ready for nicer weather. So we really got to get together, Jen. So I'm kind of, looking at the circumstance, the time of year, what might be going on. When did I last see her? What is she already using? Those kinds of things to kind of, so you don't just take your list and dial, you guys. Put a couple minutes of thought into the next person on your list. Look at your information in the profile, whatever it might be. Be a consultant. Be more than just the Mary Kay lady for her. Be her advisor and be prepared to do that. You're going to have more productive conversations and she's going to feel important and taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's really what our job's all about.
Yeah.
And the other benefit to doing it at PCP time is I always have a reason to stop over. Jenny, would it be okay if I popped over with a new catalog for you and to show you the latest offerings? I don't put my very good local customers on PCP, I'll be honest with you, because I prefer to take the full size product and a catalog to them. So I will call her and say, I'm ready for the new book. Are you? And she'll be like, sure. And then I'll ask her if she wants to share it with anybody while I'm popping over anyway. And sometimes she's like, oh, let's do it on Wednesday when my sister's here. Or can we do it Saturday morning? My daughter's going to be around.
Yeah. Wow. So
Brilliant.
great. I love this. I love how you both love to you rebook people with that new product, whether you go to their home, whether you set them up for coffee, you value their feedback, you get their opinion of this. This is so good. Okay, this is our time is like running away from us. This is so great. I want to hear your stories too, but there's more. What else are you guys talking about here?
We're going to talk about upselling and layering super quick.
Okay.
Upselling, if you don't know what that is, you guys, that is when you're interacting with someone who's making a purchase, asking them or helping them find additional products they want to use. It might be the 50% deal sheet that we have. If you don't know what that is, ask your sales director. But that 50% deal sheet. It might be suggesting companion products, like if she orders a mascara. Ooh, Jenny, you should probably grab an eye makeup remover to go with that. Otherwise, that mascara is going to be stuck on your lashes forever. And she goes, oh yeah, add that on. Suggesting, like you heard me say, suggesting she keeps a backup on hand so she doesn't have to wait. And the thing I was taught in the very beginning of my business, and I still to this day, was I'll keep suggesting and offering until she says no, nothing else or no thank you twice. The first no is sometimes just a gut reaction while she's processing what you just said, especially for me because I talk fast. The second no is like, nope, I've made a decision. I'm done. My budget's done, whatever for today. Okay. So does that give you guys, Jenny, is there anything you would add about 2 + 2 + 2 and like tips that you've seen over the years?
Let's see. Well, I think just exactly what you said. I just recently made a phone call to a customer who ordered the Miracle set, and she'd been a long, long time customer. And because it was the 2 days later, she mentioned how dry her skin was, and I was very curious. And she said, well, since I'm using the new Defender, the daytime SPF Defender, I guess because it's white and SPF, I don't need to use a moisturizer. Blow your mind. And so I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that I connected on
Yes.
the 222 because she may have been lost. You don't want to lose a customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just wasn't using the products correctly.
Oh my goodness. And how often does that happen? How often does that happen? You guys, when you're at a party or a facial, we're not retaining a lot. We're having a good time. We're having fun. They love how their face feels. They buy it. They get it home and they forget totally how to use it.
Mhm.
I mean, totally. And when we're doing new products, even you guys, you're teaching me stuff all the time that I didn't know. And order of application, when you start adding in supplements, order of application can be like mind blowing, right? And so we need a consultant to help us do that. And that's what this follow up is doing. I love this. I love this. Okay. What else?
Okay, we're going to jump over to the layering sheet on page 41, super quick.
Okay.
Every time you interact with your person, your customer, it's a chance to team build. This layering sheet is a list of prospects, and it's not just team building, you guys. There's more to it than that.
Right.
For example, one of the columns is referrals. Did she ever give you referrals? Well, that's something you can talk to her about when you do your quarterly check-in. In the first stage, and the reason I think that works so well, because this has worked for me in the past when I've remembered to ask about referrals at my 2-month, 3-month follow-up. She might not know you or trust you enough at Sandy's house that first day to share her friends and family. But if you've done your 2 + 2 + 2 job, you've asked her permission to connect with her, you've kept your word to what you told her you were going to do, she trusts you a lot more now. And she might be much more willing to say, sure, my sister, my mom, and my best friend would love this.
That is such a good point that I never thought of. That is a BFO right there for me, guys. A blinding flash of the obvious. If they are meeting you for the first time, they might not give you referrals. They don't know you. If they've built a relationship like you guys are talking about, at the 2-month follow-up, she may be like, yes, girl, my skin is feeling awesome. I do want to share this with my family and friends. So you could get referrals there. You might even get a party there because you just say, well, you can give them to me or they could all get together with us all if you want. It's more fun and you'll get some free stuff. So
Exactly.
I love that thought process. I never had that thought in 28 years. Holy cow.
So when you're doing that follow-up, look at that sheet, track your people on there, use that as a guide to, what else, what other service can I provide her?
So good. I loved how you asked that question because again, we get into the salesy mode and then we feel bad. What other service can I provide?
That's from my wise friend Jenny teaching me all this good stuff about how to say things.
I love this.
And I have a quick story to go with this because life changes every 90 to 120 days, you guys. Think about what your life looked like in November. Probably not the same as it does today, right? I had a customer in Wisconsin that every quarter I took her the lookbook, I took my basket, blah, blah, blah. I did all the things that I just talked about. Every quarter, she didn't book a party. She bought a bunch of stuff. She told me no to the opportunity every quarter. This went on for 7 years. 7 years. Some quarter in the 7th year, I did my job like I did all the other times. And she said yes and came in as a Ruby Star. So you do not know when the question is going to be the right question. But if you don't ask, it cannot happen.
Who's your special person? Who's your consultant?
Her name is Lisa.
I love it. I love that. So you did your job for 7 years and she simply bought product. So she was a great customer. You had great customer service. And then after 7 years, she decided, I am going to do this. And she decided to have product on her shelf to do that as well.
And she had a great little side gig while raising her granddaughter. She really, it was the time that was right for her.
Isn't that amazing to hear that story? Thank you for sharing that. And it's never giving up, but when we build a business for life, not just for today. And that's, I think, what you guys have been talking about this whole time. Jenny, you started it off that way about we're not simply in for the one-time sale. We are there we want customers like you guys have for 20, 25 years, as long as you've been in Mary Kay, and to continue to build on that and to build that great customer base. I know you guys are both star consultants on your reorders. Like you are higher stars on your parties and your new customers, but you guys, these women sell at least $300 a week from reorders. Could you get excited about having a business that builds upon itself because of what you're talking about? Jenny, what else? What other, you guys are going to share little stories before we close up?
Yeah, we do have some stories because you did ask us to share about, maybe some parties that have gone wrong and some parties that have gone right.
Yeah.
And sometimes consultants might look as sales directors or national
Yeah.
and think, oh, well,
sisters, I have the worst parties. You all know I have the worst parties. How am I a national sales director? We don't know. But anyway, not about me. Tell us about you, Jenny.
Well, I will start by I had my youngest son Sam. He's 17 now. I picked up my 4th or 5th pink Cadillac at the
Who's
time.
counting? 4th or 5th?
I'm not even sure.
I know.
And I had booked a party with a big group of women, and it was about an hour and a half away. And Doug was gonna, Doug and Sam were gonna hang out. And so I drove an hour and a half away in my brand new pink Cadillac, got there, and I forgot absolutely everything. I didn't have any products, samples, a kit, mirrors, absolutely nothing. And we just sat around and had snacks.
You had nothing. You had nothing to even show them.
No, and I just went home and I prayed that I would never see them again, ever. So,
Well,
thank you,
I
dear
feel
Lord.
better. I have forgotten mirrors before. I have forgotten trays before, but I had something with me. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you. And you still survived. You didn't die. You didn't die.
I didn't die.
You didn't die. And you still have earned Cadillacs since then. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I
And
love
a party that's really gone right.
Yeah.
And was when my first son, who's 21 now, and both of them came home from the hospital in pink Cadillacs. But I decided that I was going to do handshulls. And on the back of the hand, Miracle said on the back of the hand. And I booked a ton of hostesses, and the stipulation was they each had to have 10 guests.
Mhm.
No less than 10 guests. And that week, I had 4 handshell parties. And of course, the hostess got a hefty hostess prize, a hostess discount. But I sold $1,000 at every single handshell party. And that was such a win.
You had 4 parties where people tried the products on the back of their hands, where 10 or more people were at the parties, and
Yes,
you sold $4,000 in a week at those parties.
yes. And each hostess got $100 in free Mary Kay products for being the hostess and having
So
10 or more.
I love it. Look at you guys. The party's the fix, whether they put it on the back of their hands, whether they put it on their faces, whether they're doing it virtually. I mean, the party is the fix. That's amazing. So we'll have parties where we forget everything. We sell $0 and we hope we never see those people again. And then we will have parties where we will sell $1,000 at a party 4 times in a week. This is exciting, you guys. This is what happens at Mary Kay when you don't quit and you keep going. I love it, Jenny. Trisha, what do you want to share?
So the winter before I moved to Florida, I had a party and it was like 18 plus inches of snow, right? It's
Oh,
freezing
yes.
cold.
Yes.
I get to her house. The entrance is on the back side of the house. So I got to traipse through her yard with all my stuff because I remembered mine. So I'm traipsing through her yard, go in the back door, get in there, right? She's got 3 guests. And I'm trying to chatter with, you know me, you guys, I talk to everyone. So I'm chatting with them while I'm, get my snow boots off and get my stuff set up. Not one peep. Nobody said anything. Nobody responded. Nobody laughed at my jokes. Nothing. They just stood there and stared at me. It was bizarre. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get everything set up, get started on the party. She lets her dog in from outside. The dog immediately, he's all snow covered and shaggy, right? Immediately attaches himself to my leg, would not get off my leg, followed me all. I was trying to walk away from him. I was trying to like hide on a chair, asking her to get her dog off my leg. He wears a hole in my tights, if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, no.
Incredibly inappropriate. And they bought nothing. So I packed up all my stuff and me and my holy tights went back out the back door and around the house through the snow and went home.
Oh, oh my goodness. Can you tell us a good one now? Because
I sure can. I sure
horrible.
can. And I moved to Florida and I said, oh, I hope the parties here are better. And so I met a lady and I booked her for a party.
After that party and moved to Florida. Okay, go ahead.
Booked her. She's a nurse and I booked her for a party. She had 14 guests in attendance.
Oh my goodness.
It was a little wild. I sold 12 miracle sets and recruited 3 people.
Whoa.
It was a $1,900 party. A lot of fun.
Oh,
and a bronze medal at one party, 3 people at one party. So you guys, just can you just keep hearing these stories? But guess what? If you only have one booked, it might be the one where you forget everything and drive an hour and a half and you can't even sell anything because you don't have anything. Well, nowadays you could have taken to the Mary Kay website or something like that, right? We could have bet back in the day. But if you only had one, Jenny, then maybe you would have quit.
Yeah.
But you got to have more than one booked, you guys, because you don't know if the one is where you're going to have the dog wear a hole in your tights, or what it's going to be the one where you sell 12 miracle sets. You guys, that's the key, is that we keep going. And you know what? The ones where all those things, bad things happen, is where we learn, it's where we laugh, it's where we grow in our character, and it's whether we decide, are we keeping going, right, you guys? One of the things that we're talking about as sales directors is, but you didn't die, right? You didn't die. Maybe the dog was like that and you drove an hour and a half one way, but you didn't die, you guys. We got to stop being so wimpy. We are not weenies. We are hot dogs. We are not going to die when we hold parties, Mary Kay parties. I love it. This was amazing, you guys. This was so great. All the way from the first opening up of it to talking about, well, hearing about you. I loved it. I loved hearing about all of your accolades, Mary Kay. People respond to authentic hearts, not polished pitches. I can't even say that. All of the ways that we can overcome objections, because that is one of the things on our voucher for this week to print to make those. Another thing is to do the 2-day, to look at your customer base and to do either the 2-day, 2-week, 2-month follow-up with your people to see where they're at, right? Especially Trisha said, if you sold to them in December, now would definitely be the time, or if they're on their preferred customer list, right? Kim is going to show it to us. So we've got all the normal things on there that we have every week, but number 7 is overcoming objection flashcards. And I think you should record it. I love what you said, Jenny, about recording it and listening it to yourself. Look at your faces from December until now and identify who needs that. And you get 10 points for every conversation. No limit, no limit. And then, is that it for this one? Are those the actual things? Oh, 5 more bookings on your date book from today. Oh, that you have 5 bookings on your date book from now on the 16th through the 28th, that you still have 5 on your books, okay? That you're not just, you didn't just book 5 the first week and then book 10 the second week, and then you're like, okay, I'm done until March 1st. No, you want to have at least 5 bookings. If you have 5 bookings up on your books between now and February 28th, you get more points for that, okay? In addition to everything else that we're doing. All right, so as we close up, look at the prize for this next week. Another Kendra Scott, not Kendra Scott like, it's actual Kendra Scott, a necklace for our top director, our top consultant, and our top red jacket. And you are going to be seeing in a day when I get back from Miami, who is actually won for the past week. And then we'll be back on our normal live schedule next Monday night. But you guys, relationships matter. Mary Kay built this business on relationships. She built this business so that women could truly keep God first, family second, career third, like you guys have done. Mary Kay built this business so that you guys could have the freedom and flexibility to love your husbands the way that you want to love them. Mary Kay built this business. Times change, methods change. We've talked about that. But our values do not change. And so tonight, you guys shared with us about that, of keeping people at the heart of Mary Kay, about being genuinely curious and asking them questions. And Mary Kay has said, and so have others, people won't always remember what you say to them, but they will remember how you made them feel. And what you reminded me of tonight is that we are probably the best conversation most women are going to have any day. Whether it's a thank you call, whether it's a check-in call, whether it's finding out how their product is doing, or if they want to hear more about the Mary Kay opportunity, we bring the love. And that's what you guys did. 2 days after Valentine's Day, you brought the love. So thank you so much, my sisters. This was an amazing, amazing training. And you guys go out there and create conversations, be genuinely curious, and build those relationships. It's worth it. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.